Hello guys and dolls. The moose is back. Welcome to the world of n8n, where flexible AI workflow automation isn't just for the big guys anymore. n8n lets you build smart automations with the precision of code or the speed of drag and drop. Alright, that's enough marketing. Let's get to the part they never put on the homepage, the real cost, and why hosting n8n yourself can save your project and your wallet. Let's look at that next. Here's the first truth bomb. n8n doesn't have a free tier anymore. That starter plan, it'll run you about $20 a month, billed annually. And that's before you add in the extra cost of ChatGPT, Perplexity, third-party APIs, and whatever hosting or VPS you need for your projects. For devs, that stuff adds up fast, especially if you're just trying to learn or prototype. So buckle up. This isn't your typical low-code tutorial. We're about to go full Tony Stark mode. Let's go. Alright, this is where we begin. As you see here, this is my DigitalOcean portal. As you see, I have two droplets, and one is called Docker Moose. That's where we will begin. In case you're wondering how I created it, this is how. Coming up next. Yup, just by choosing that while I was creating my DigitalOcean droplet. I should mention that my Docker droplet has a 2-core Intel CPU, 4 GB of RAM, and 25 GB of SSD hard disk space. Well, you can go lower, but I wouldn't recommend it for an n8n rig. I mean, if you really want to enjoy working with it. Also, FYI, DigitalOcean do have one with n8n installed also. But guess what? Installing n8n is just a one-liner. Even if you get that one of those, you still have to do 90% of the work I'll be showing here. I mean, setting up Nginx reverse proxy for the domain setup, SSL setup for your domain with Nginx and Let's Encrypt service, reconfigure your Docker configuration file with proxy setup so that your n8n installation knows what domain it is using, etc., etc. So yeah, once again, let's fasten our seatbelts. Alrighty then. Let's connect to our droplet via SSH from our local system. You do have to set up your local system with SSH, of course. So basically, once SSH is set up, all you have to do is type up this command, SSH root at yourdroplet.com. You could also use the IP address of the droplet. But for this course, I will assume that you already know how to set up your domain on your DigitalOcean droplet. All that said, let's move forward, shall we? Alright, let's start at the command line because this is where all the real work gets done. First up, we're running df-h to check our disk space. This is a habit you want to build. Always know how much space you've got left before spinning up containers or pulling new images, especially on cloud VPSs where storage is often tight. Next, we've got Docker PS, which lists all your currently running Docker containers. If it's quiet here, don't panic. That just means nothing's actively running. But if you want to see every container you've ever started, including the stopped ones, use Docker PS-A. This is super useful for tracking down old containers you forgot about or for quick cleanup. Finally, Docker Images shows you all the images you've got pulled on this box. Each one takes up space, so if you're running low on disk, you'll want to keep this list lean and remove images you don't need. Long story short, these are the basic commands for any dev or sysadmin working with Docker. Master these, and you'll never be caught off guard by disk errors or orphaned containers again. Let's go to the next step. Now let's talk about Docker volumes. These little guys can eat up a ton of disk space, especially if you're spinning up databases or persisting data between containers. The command Docker volume ls shows you every volume on your system, whether it's currently being used or just sitting there. If you've ever run a database in Docker, odds are you've got volumes quietly hanging around, taking up space. Next up, Docker System DF gives you the big picture, how much space your images, containers, volumes, and build cache are really using. Check that reclaimable column. If you see big numbers, it means you've got old junk you can clear out and instantly free up gigabytes. Bottom line, smart Docker devs don't just manage containers, they manage their storage. Stay lean, avoid outages, and keep your environment clean. Alright, let's go to the next step. Time to play detective with your disk space. When things start getting tight, This command helps you spot the real space hogs at the top level of your root partition. The magic here is do-hd1, to back null, resort, head 20. What does it do? Do-hd1 shows you the sizes of each main directory under root in human-readable units. The output is sorted by size, biggest folders first, so you instantly see where your gigabytes are hiding. The to-back is warning. Let's pause. Dev null bit just hides error messages to keep things clean, and head-20 shows only the top 20 entries. Looking at this list, you can see var, user, and snap are the biggest. Those are always prime suspects when you're running out of space. Master this command, and you'll never wonder where your disk vanished again. Alright, next step coming up. Let's keep going. Alright, before we get our hands dirty with n8n itself, let's make sure Docker Compose is ready to roll. Just run Docker Compose version. If you see a version number like this, you're good to go. If not, don't sweat it. On Ubuntu, just run apt update, apt install Docker Compose plugin. And, since you're already root, you can skip the sudo. With Docker Compose in place, you've got the final piece of our automation toolkit for this setup. In the next video, we're diving straight into the real action, pulling the official n8n image from Docker Hub, configuring our environment, and firing up everything with Docker Compose. That's where the fun and the power really begins. See you in part 2. Let's deploy and configure something epic.